Right, guys, welcome back to the championship rounds. This is episode 16 of the championship roundup. And we've got a busy weekend and we've had a busy week as well. So there's lots to dive into this week, especially in the boxing world as well. It was trending all over Twitter. So we'll go on to that towards the end of the episode. But we're going to start off with this weekend's main event at UFC 272. We've got Colby Covington versus Jorge Masvidal, which is the grudge match that people have been waiting for a very long, long time. If you haven't already, at the end of this video, go across to our channel and watch Sam's documentary that he made on that, because that's brilliant. If you've not been following UFC for long and you want to get up to scratch with the fight this weekend, that is the video to watch. So go to watch that after this video. But we're going to dive into it. What are your thoughts on the fight, Sam?
Yeah, I've been watching UFC for a while, and there's never been, in my opinion, there's never been a storyline like this. There's been friends and training partners that have fought, like Usman Burns, but there's never been best friends, roommates, and there's never been where you can actually see on YouTube how good of friends they were. Like you can say, like Usman and Burns are good friends, but no one's seen that footage. Now, like they've literally got a documentary of them being best friends and doing everything together. So for me, it's unique in every possible way. And they have genuine bad blood for each other. The stuff that Colby's saying about he's a crap dad and he doesn't support his kids and this and that. And then Masvidal saying he doesn't pay his coaches. So it's getting intense now. It's getting intense. I've said from the start, I've said that, I favor Colby in this fight. I favor that what he's been doing to Masvidal when they were training, just taking him down and pressuring him. And that's the reason that Jorge brought him into his camp to help him with his wrestling. But Masvidal ain't caught up to Colby's wrestling. So, but you can never count out game bread. So you tell me.
Yeah, I was going to say that's one thing. I think the general consensus is most people think that Colby's going to go in there, put the pressure on him. Even if he doesn't get the takedown, he'll keep going for the takedown over and over again, wear out Masvidal till he gets him down. One thing I would say about Masvidal, especially towards the beginning of rounds, he's very explosive.
Yeah.
So he's not the kind of guy that's going to get taken down and stay there. We saw it even against Usman in the first fight where he took it on like 6 days notice or whatever. In the first couple of rounds when Usman was trying to take him down, he was sprawling. And if he did manage to get him down, he would explode back up to the feet. Yeah. So I think for Colby, it is going to be the fact of him just having to keep on getting those takedowns. We obviously know he's got the gas tank to do it. Masvidal actually has got a good gas tank, surprisingly. Yeah. He's got a good gas tank. Like, I don't know whether it helps that he was like a lighter fighter and then he's naturally moved up to 170. That might help the gas tank as well. But yeah, I don't think Masvidal is going to be as easy to take down as people think.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's going to have to be it's going to be like a battle of attrition, basically. Like, as the fight goes on, he's going to get more and more tired, but there's always that danger for a knee or shots from the bottom with Masvidal. It's not going to be like, oh, I'm just going to take him down and hold him. He's not going to be held. So, yeah, it's going to be a very, very interesting fight. But like you said, I don't think you can count Masvidal out. But if the only fight that you can kind of compare this to is when Masvidal fought Damian Maia and lost.
Yeah.
And in that fight, Damian Maia was tiring him out and taking him down. But he lost by a split decision, but he still managed to land a lot of damage on Maia, especially on the feet when they were standing at the beginning of the rounds. So it's going to be an interesting one. I think Colby needs to be clever in there because he can be a bit reckless with his striking. And we know Masvidal is very creative and he does carry power. So, yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting, man.
Yeah, I think that even Damian Maia after the fight, he said, Masvidal was one of the best grapplers he ever fought, and he still holds to that. So he's not a slouch like people might underestimate Masvidal's grappling. He can scramble up, he can get back to his feet, and he's going to be trying to land anything in terms of when they're in the clinch, when they're breaking grappling. He's going to be trying to land an elbow or a knee or something like that. So it's interesting. They're going to be talking to each other as well in there. I know Masvidal is going to be talking in the first round. I don't know by the end if he's still going to be talking, but I feel like it's a big fight. It's I don't know. It's a massive fight. I don't know the pay-per-view numbers, but I think it'll do very, very well.
I think it would have done very well, but the rest of the card is weak. Yeah. I think the rest of the card is weak. It's obviously a non-title. If they had Colby Masvidal plus a title fight,
crazy numbers.
It would do very, very good numbers. Like, I'd say it'd be close to 1 million pay-per-views.
Yeah.
but the fact that it is them two basically carrying the card.
Yeah.
The one thing I do think can push up the pay-per-views is obviously the press conference on Thursday night. Like, that is, depending on how they both come out, which we're expecting fireworks, that could boost those pay-per-view sales. And, Colby's not going to be holding back in that press conference, and neither is Masvidal. So, I don't even know if they're going to get to do a face-off, man. So I feel like they're going to. I don't think Dana's going to risk it.
No, but it's like I said, it's one of a kind, and I think we've covered the main thing. It's kind of like, that striker versus grappler, but not underestimating Masvidal's grappling. We could be in for a surprise if Masvidal gets it. But bearing in mind, Masvidal has to win this, otherwise his career goes nowhere. Now his career goes nowhere. He's done, in my opinion. He's done.
To be fair, I think for both of them, mate, I just, even for Colby, I think after this fight, if it is the title that he wants, the loser will never get a title shot again. I think it's pretty safe to say the loser of this fight does not get a title shot. The winner, there's opportunity to get back in that title picture. One more solid win, and you could get yourself back in there, because Usman's lapping that division all the time, so he's going to run through guys and get you again, probably. So, but talking about that division, we're going to move on from the main event to something else, and a fighter that's very interesting in that division, Khamzat Chimaev. And Darren Till training in Sweden has been a massive topic. Like, this thing has been trending on YouTube like crazy, man. Like the footage that's been coming out as well. Like, if you go over to Block Asset and watch their stuff, or Front Kick and watch their stuff.
It's Front Kick Khamzat's channel. Front Kick Khamzat's channel.
No, I think it's just a Swedish-based channel. They're the ones that did the interview with Darren in the week. But Hamza, all go and check out Khamzat Chimaev's channel. He's got his own channel now, which is doing really well. But the content that's coming out from that, everyone is loving the bromance at the moment, man. Like, they just seem like such a good fit. Like, it's so weird because looking at face value, you'd think they're polar opposites, but like, they get on so well in the videos. I think. Sorry, mate, carry on.
I was just going to say that I think that Darren Till is actually a very respectful guy. I think he's been brought up by his coach. I forgot his name, Colin something.
Colin Heron.
Yeah, and he's always said, like, he's the only man that he fears is his coach. Like, I think he's brought up with that very respectful thing about coaches in gyms. So I think anywhere he goes, he'll get along with anyone. But it's weird because it had that what was it, FaceTime thing where Hamza pulled out a knife. Khamzat pulled out a knife. From that to best friends was a bit of a thing. But in my opinion, I think it's the best thing that can happen to Darren Till. Who better to help you wrestling than Hamza?
And not even just wrestling, just motivation. Like, we all know how hungry Hamza is. Like, this guy wants to fight every week if he can. Like, for Darren to go and fight with him, like he said after the last fight, obviously he's lost motivation and stuff, like having injuries, going in there, not performing to his best, being a little bit gun shy against Robert Whittaker. This is what he needs, I think, to get him back on that resurgence, because he's not old. Darren's not even 30 yet. So, like, which is crazy. So you got a young, hungry guy like Hamza, who's like 26, 27. You got Darren, who's like 29. Like, these two guys in the next year should be looking to be in the prime of their career. And I truly believe Hamza will be fighting for a title this time next year, or have fought for a title. And I think Darren needs 1 or 2 wins to get into that title contention in the middleweight division. And I don't see any reason why he can't, to be honest. And I know Izzy wants that fight. So, I think them two working together it's a good, man. It's going to be really good.
But that's Darren Till's actually very lucky because he's in a division where there's not a big gap, even though he's like probably ranked around 10-ish now. 8, I think he might be ranked.
I think 8,
Yeah. But Izzy wants to fight him because of the technical Muay Thai kickboxing sort of battle. So the champion wants to fight him. All he needs to do is put 1 or 2 good wins together, and Izzy will fight him, because Izzy likes fresh people. He doesn't like facing the same old people. He likes, as he calls it, fresh meat. So Darren Till's in a blessed position. He's not like, if he was in like the lightweight division with like Chandler, Gaethje, and all these guys want to go for the title shot, I'd say it's a bit difficult, but that division's open.
I think if he goes in there and, like, say he gets a win over like Sean Strickland and then like one more fight, like say Jared Cannonier loses to Izzy, then we do like Strickland, Cannonier, and then you're at the title already. It's in that division. It's not like the lightweights. There's not like a big queue. Like you can with 2 fights get to the title quite easily. And I think well, hopefully this is the kick up the arse Darren needs, because I feel like he's a massive fan favourite, and it'd just be nice to see him do well in that division.
Yeah.
So.
And the key thing that he said on Bisping's podcast was that he's not going to go in there until he's 100%. I feel like against Brunson, he wasn't himself because of the ACL, and he has loads of other injuries. So for him just to be patient and just work and then be 100% is only gonna benefit him. So yeah,
I think conditioning as well. Like, he came in there and he's even said in an interview with ESPN today, like, he looked flabby, he didn't look in shape, and now he's there doing strength and conditioning with Hamza, trying to keep up with him.
Yeah.
And he's like, this guy's a different animal. Like, he just doesn't get tired. Yeah. And he's like, I'm looking at him as inspiration, even though he's a newer fighter in the UFC.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's loads of aspects I think that will improve with time.
Yeah. Have you heard anything about Darren Till's return fight? Nothing's been, No,
I know Uriah Hall keeps talking about him. So I wouldn't
like to see that fight. I think it's a good fight.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. But there's quite a few names bouncing around in that division, but it just depends on when says he's ready to be back in the octagon. So as he said, he's not rushing, so we don't know.
And Hamza is official, because I know there was comments on a Hamza video.
Yeah, today, finally.
Yeah.
Finally confirmed. April 9th, Jackson, Florida. So, yeah, man. Gilbert Burns is putting up some training footage as well. He's at Sanford MMA, as we know, with Henry Hoof. And Usman was there today as well. He tagged him, but Usman can't punch or anything with his hands, so I don't know. He might just be watching. I don't know. But, yeah, man, interesting times ahead in the UFC. We're going to now move over to the boxing world. And the boxing world was rattled this weekend, man. Like, Twitter trending at the top was like, the top few words were literally like robbery, bullshit, fixed. It was fucking mental. If you guys don't know what we're talking about, we're talking about the top ranked card. We had Josh Taylor versus Jack Catterall fighting for the undisputed title. And I don't think anyone was expecting it at all. Like, Jack Catterall was he was like a massive underdog for the fight as well, which is insane. And he done amazing. He came out there and he dealt with Josh Taylor. The majority, like 99% of people, other than Cole Froch, basically thought that Jack Catterall won the fight as well, which is really disappointing because one of the judges had it like 114 to 111 Josh. Like, it was absolutely mental. Yeah. If you didn't watch the fight, just a quick rundown of it. It was like, started watching it. The first 6 rounds, you could give the first 6 rounds to Cattrall, which is mental. Easy. Like, he was absolutely dealing with him. He was just throwing this left overhand as well, which was just catching him like when he wanted to. And then we had a knockdown. Josh got knocked down for the first time in his career in the 8th round, which is a 10-8 round. Yeah. And then a point was deducted off Cattrall later on, I think maybe in the 7th or 8th, for pushing Josh's head down, or punching him whilst his head was down. And then Josh got a point deducted. Like, it was so weird. Did you see the point deduction for Josh Taylor?
No, I didn't see it. I think I zoned off at that point.
So weird. Basically, the bell goes, they're both in the corner. Yeah. Jack's walking off and like he's hit him just after the bell, and then Josh has gave him a little punch to the stomach like as he's walking off. Yeah. And then he's deducted a point. So I don't know. The ref was on a bit of a madness. He was like bare strict. But yeah, at the end of the fight, like I was just sat there thinking, Josh has lost this. Like, there's no way he's won this. Yeah. Like, even I'd say Josh turned it on in the last 3 rounds of the fight, but it's too late by then, and especially with the points deduction, like,
and the knockdown.
And the knockdown. So like the points like kind of like balanced each other up. Then he also had the knockdown as well on top of it. It was just stupid. Like, there's an investigation going on. One thing I do want to say, which is fair play to Ben Shalom. Like, he came out straight after and said, I'm embarrassed because obviously I've promoted this card. Yeah. And like that the refereeing has been a shambles. So I think there's like an investigation going on with like the British Board of Control. So we're gonna see like how the referees came to that decision and so forth. Yeah,
my opinion on the fight was just like Cattrall was. I think Josh Taylor struggled with the southpaw. Cattrall's southpaw, and like you said, he was landing that the jab left hand, because it's different with southpaw. Yeah, so the jab left hand was landing all the time. He looked stronger. He looked quicker. He just looked like a better boxer technically. So Josh Taylor only really got shots off in the sort of dirty clinch when they're separating. He'll get a shot,
Yeah.
or like inside, he'll get like a dirty shot in. Other than that, he wasn't touching him, and Cattrell was just landing on him all the time. So it was. And I think the sad thing is, and this is what Bellew said, and Johnny Nels and all the rest, is that as a boxer, you train your whole life to become a world title holder. And not only would he have won one, he would have won 4, and the Ring Magazine one. They would have been undisputed. So they've said that they've literally robbed his livelihood, because that would have changed his life. Big fights, more money. So that bad refereeing has actually affected this guy's livelihood. And it's really bad, to be honest. And, it does happen from time to time. But I think this one was so clear that you can't even make a case.
It was honestly like, it's so, like, as soon as they started reading out the judges' scorecards, and one guy had 113, 112 to Taylor, I just thought, oh, this is going to be a fix, man. Yeah. Like, you just had that horrible feeling, like, oh no. But like, it's so good that so many people have come out and like called this one out. Like, I feel like a lot of the times when these decisions happen, they kind of get swept under the rug. Everyone's forgot about it after a week. But like, even on Twitter today, people are still talking about it. Yeah. And it's actually being investigated. What will come of the investigation, I have no idea. But it can't happen, man. That's bullshit. Like you said, the guy's trained his whole life for that moment, and it's been taken away from him, which is fucking shit. So
the strange thing is that I don't know if I'm misreading this, but Josh Taylor came out and actually said he thought he's rewatched it and he thought he's won the fight.
Yeah. He did. He said that. And I think they're both, him and Ben Davison are obviously just in denial. Like, they're literally chatting shit, because Ben was literally saying to him towards the end of the fight in the corner, "You're losing this." And then he said in the final round, "We need a knockout." And then he goes, "No, I was just saying it to like get him like charged up and stuff. Like, I know my fighter." I was thinking, mate, you knew he was fucked. Like, at the end, like, even when he tried putting his arm up, like, obviously they do that at the end to like kind of sway the refs. Yeah. The decision, the refs' decisions made by that point, because they've been scoring the whole fight. The only way I see this going away is by moving to open scoring. I think open scoring needs to happen, so we can like see at the time.
Explain what that is. I don't know what you mean.
Open scoring is like when the scores are made available for each round, so they can see what's being scored. Yeah, what's being scored at the time. No, none of this like, or maybe leave a couple of them blank and then I'll fill them in at the end or something, like to try like, no, like, it needs to be open scoring. Give it so we can see, and the fighters can see exactly what it is that you're scoring the rounds. Like, it's just bullshit, man. It's not enough to hand over your slip at the end, because in that time where all the fans are sat there, God knows what you're scribbling away. So, I don't know, man. It's fucking annoying.
Also, the rematch won't be at that weight, will it? If they do a rematch, Josh Taylor said he's not going down today. It's going to be up. So obviously, it's going to be a bit of a different game.
He has to. If like, how can you move up to 147? You can't. Like, you've just robbed this guy. Give him his rematch at 140. Don't matter if you struggle to make the weight. Start your cut earlier, but like, make that cut and give that guy the chance that he deserves, because he beat you fair and square. But like you said, I don't see it happening. There's some people that have said, like, obviously if Cattrell wants to stay at 140, then and Josh Taylor moves up, vacates the belts or whatever, he should be mandatory for each bout. But I don't know how you could even enforce that either. So
okay.
I don't know, man. Interesting one though. Big talking point this week. And we've had a lot of talking again today, because the Furies were at Wembley Stadium promoting, obviously, Fury versus Whyte, which takes place on the 24th of
April.
24th of April. I don't know why I had June in my head.
It's the 23rd, somewhere around that.
It's St. George's Day. That shows how patriotic I am. But I don't even know when it is. But it was a weird one, man. Fury and his whole gang turn up. Whyte nowhere to be seen. What do you think about this whole how Dillian Whyte's played this?
Yeah, I didn't watch the press conference, but I feel like Dillian Whyte, it might hurt his career in the long term, but in the short term, I know he's thinking that it doesn't matter if he turns up. He's not getting a slice of the pay-per-views. He's getting a fixed fee, isn't he? So he's thinking, what's the point? I might as well just train hard. So I don't know. If he wins, obviously he's a big star anyway, but he could have really elevated his presence fighting Fury. And got more fans on his side, especially as that you're saying is that people are getting sort of fed up of Fury. But Dillian Whyte's that guy. He's unpredictable. That's what makes him Dillian Whyte. Like Chisora, Dillian Whyte, they're both psychopaths.
And that's what makes them entertaining. Like, you don't know what they're going to do. But you know what? It's weird because he hasn't turned up for his press conference, but everyone's now talking about he hasn't turned up for this press conference. So in a weird way, he's still got his promotion out of it as well.
Yeah.
But if you watch like the Fury's interviews and stuff on like IFL TV, man, I'm not joking. They seem rattled. They actually, I know Fury puts on this thing like, oh no, like I'm in his head, he's not turning up or whatever. But you can tell Fury might not be as rattled, but Frank Warren is definitely rattled.
It's affecting his money though, isn't it?
It's affecting his money, and he's thinking Eddie Hearn is fucking stitching me up here. They believe that Eddie Hearn is behind all this, like the mastermind behind all of this, which is absolutely hilarious, man. It's honestly so funny, but I think he will turn up when it's actually fight week time.
Yeah. 100%.
But it's just hilarious. Imagine if he rocks up to a press conference with Eddie Hearn on fight week. Oh my God, it'd be so funny. But it looks like he's just training hard in Portugal, man. All he's doing is like Instagramming either stories of his dogs or him him just dripping with sweat. Like, that's the only
he does love his dogs. He won't fly his family out there, but he'll fly his dogs out there.
Apparently, he said last minute, I want a private jet
for his dogs.
Nah, he said I want a private jet to fly out to the press conference, and then they agreed to it. Apparently, Frank Warren said, and then he's like adding more conditions on and stuff. He probably did say he wants his dogs flown out and shit as well. And then he his manager or something said to Frank Warren, "We're not giving you the rights to use any of our pictures, so don't put a picture of Whyte in the background of the press conference."
Oh my God.
He's got Frank on strings, man. Honestly, Frank's gonna look like Bob Arum by the end of this. I swear down, man. But
you know what? They could have avoided this by giving Dillian Whyte a little piece of the pay-per-view. Then he would have been there. He would have definitely been there.
But honestly, it's jokes, man. In terms of the actual press conference, like it was just standard Fury. Like he had a face-off by himself and stuff like that. He was just trying to entertain the crowd.
Yeah.
The one interesting thing though that come out of it was like Carl Frampton was there.
Yeah.
And John Fury like got in his face and started shouting at him because when the Tommy and Jake Paul fight was meant to happen, apparently he said that Tommy would lose to Jake Paul, which I don't see the issue with. At the end of the day, he's a guy who gets paid. Like he's a fucking he's a commentator, but he's a two-weight world champion. Like he can have his opinion. Like he's been in the fucking game.
He deserves an opinion.
If anyone deserves an opinion, it's Carl Frampton. But John was getting in his face, like saying, like, "Oh, that's just bullshit" or whatever. He's like, "I'm not talking to you," and like turns around like a big kid. Like he's a bit immature, to be honest. Like that is like if the guy's got a different opinion, he's got a different opinion.
Exactly.
And then Tommy Fury as well. Like he got interviewed because he was there today as well, and he was like, "Yeah, I agree with what my dad said. Like you should." One thing that these guys, the Furies, the most contradictory people on the planet. He goes, Tommy Fury, he goes, either way, Carl Frampton should be backing his own countryman, like blah, 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 blah. But then when Fury used to get asked, and I swear Tommy said the same before, when they'd get asked who would win between Wilder and Joshua, Wilder will smoke him. Like, but then why are you not backing your countryman then? What the hell?
Yeah. But you know what? Even like, all right, take Carl Frampton. Let's just say like an average commentator who hasn't boxed. He still should be able to say, I think Jake Paul will beat Tommy Fury without John Fury getting upset. You know, you can understand he's passionate about his son and stuff, but it's just an opinion. He doesn't need to get that upset over it. It's weird, very weird.
Honestly, anyone that pays for pay-per-view, anyone that takes time out of their life to watch something, you could give your opinion. That's how the world works. Like you give your opinion, like whether people like your opinion or not. Like that is what it is. But you should be able to give your opinion without some angry old man screaming in your face. That is what it is. So
yeah,
he
also said, I just want to finish on that. He also said, get the facts right. Something about facts. So they haven't fought. So what if they fought and Tommy won? That's a fact. There's no facts. There is no facts in this situation.
It's literally pure opinion. They're both novices. And like, oh man, Jesus Christ. At the end of the day, Tommy was the one that pulled out the fight. So I don't know how he's giving it the big one, but it is what it is. That's it really. I think from this week, I saw something about Kayla Harrison, like PFL and Match Bellator was offered for her. She needs to be getting involved with those big fights. Bellator would have been good because she wants a cyborg fight. But yeah, PFL have matched that bid. So look forward to seeing her back fighting. Anything else? I'm trying to think. Have you got anything else from this week or last week?
No. Just if anyone doesn't know, Rafa the Fiziev is out. I call him Fiziev, but everyone else calls him Fiziev. But he's out of the fight. Rafa Adesanya due to COVID, and they've got a replacement, Moicano. So that's it. That's all I got. Bryce Mitchell's fighting. If anyone cares about him, I've never seen someone push Arkansas so much. Like UFC embedded Arkansas. So see what he does. Big test, Barboza. I hope Barboza gets it done because
Barboza's just
he's a legend, man.
If you want to watch that, Barboza's just I love watching him, man.
Yeah.
Like his kicks are fucking amazing. So yeah, that is this week covered, man. I think we've done well getting the Fury Whyte press conference stuff in there again today.
Yeah.
So we'll get this out over the week. Thank you to all the subscribers as well. We're so close to 700. We want to try and hit 1,000 by the summer, which would be fantastic, man. But yeah, thank you for tuning in. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Follow us over on Instagram. We just shouted out the winners of the Colby and Masvidal t-shirt giveaway. And yeah, keep it locked.
Keep it locked.
Peace.